let's look at how we have a lot of our Grasshopper files set up. First of all, you'll see the course module name here at the top, and we have the link to LandKit in case you need a little help. We have our logo, and then here we have plugin requirements. This is going to be the version of LandKit that we created the example with. This does not mean that it's going to break if we have a new version of LandKit, but certain things may break, and it's just something to be aware of. Very often, we're not going to be changing things dramatically from version to version, but it's good to be aware that we're still in beta and there's still some changes that are happening. So these components are called geometry pipeline components. These allow you to define layer names and to import geometry or reference geometry from your Rhino file into Grasshopper. So we can bring in curves, spots, breps, or polysurfaces and surfaces. That's another way of saying brep, or meshes. Those are the three main types. You can also name your geometry, which we rarely do, and you could filter by name if you needed to do that. So here you can see we're bringing contours, and here we're bringing in spots or points. The LandKit components are often highlighted by these aqua-colored grouping labels, and we try to label them as much as possible so that you don't have to roll over in order to understand what something is. We prefer to work with icons turned on, and you can do that by saying draw icons under display. We have what we hope are catchy titles in case you do like to use text for your Grasshopper. Just switch that back to draw icons. Now, one thing to be aware of with our LandKit components is we take great care to make each input very clear by not only including a label, but also a description that helps explain what this particular input is asking for. You can also get a clue about what it's asking for with this little icon. In this case, we're looking for curves, and the title is self-explanatory, but the icon for curves in the hexagon shape lets you know that this is looking for curves. Here we're looking for spots, and here we're looking for curves again. Now, the outputs of these are also often letting us know what kind of thing it is. LandKit is a little bit unique in that we aren't always outputting geometry from our components. Very often, we're using the classes that we have defined, like geoset or topography, or in some cases, walls. Now, we also often have a draw component for anything that we're making. So drawing topography, drawing walls, drawing areas. Those are going to create our geometry for us. We input our object or class object, like Topo, which doesn't actually have any preview at the moment. And all of the hard work gets done here under draw. This allows us to make different modifications very quickly and then plug that in case we wanted to pause the solver or create some kind of a mechanism to stop the data from flowing into here. We could make a bunch of changes and then update that. We also have drawing settings like minimum divisions, maximum divisions, angle tolerance. These will be explained further, but they are parameters that help figure out how to draw the topography. And then we also label our other things using a blue label that aren't part of LandKit, that are actually using Grasshopper native components that are already built into Grasshopper. or components that are being used from another plugin. And I don't think we have any in this particular file. Finally, we like to show previews of our geometry, and we do that by using the preview component, which is native to Grasshopper. And we can make that visible or not visible by saying Control Q. And you can see here that our wall is now visible. I can select this and say Control Q, and it goes away. So that toggles it. Another way is to select the component, right click, and you can preview or not. You can also enable the component or not. If the component is disabled, it will appear as a gray component and it won't function. Whatever functionality this component was doing before will stop. So we can say Control E to do that as well, and Control E to disable it as well. For example, if I were to disable my geometry set or geo set, Control E, it stops everything down the line. And you can tell because things turn yellow or sometimes red if they aren't getting the components or the inputs that they need in order to do their job as functions. If I just select this, Control E, that's much better. Everything's working. And let's get on with some of our tutorials.